Yeah, the only trouble I think I'm going to have is the collector. And if we go to, where is it, potatoes. See, running one of these or one of these, not a problem. That's a problem, that's a problem. These are smaller, but I could run one of these. It's 1.5 meters wide. It straps to the back of the tractor. It's not got a big operating area. This thing might be a problem because it's quite big. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I use for potatoes at that point. The picker upper is going to take a lot of room. Or I could look at some of the mods, which they don't have any storage, and they're effectively just a conveyor that lifts potatoes off of the ground and drops them off to the side, so into a waiting truck or something. I mean, it's not like I need potatoes as a crop, but whereas if I go farming agency map, I will need sugar beets. So I will be saving some of my 495,000 litres of sugar beets. I'll probably put about 20 litres into crates and stack them up somewhere safe. I think it might be a good plan to do this. I also think farming agency sheep might produce manure and or slurry, which again would help with the fertilization of the fields. Okay. I think I might do another edge. That's the other thing, I'm not really using the Fendt that much. I mean, I was originally using it on the grain carting. I suppose when we get onto the sunflower seeds fields, there may be opportunity to use the Fendt for carting on those. And then we can follow up with the ploughing and stuff, or the cultivating with one of the bigger tractors. That's the thing, our field work this year has been very, very spaced out. The wheat, oats, barley, whatever we planted, that was a very early harvest, like beginning of late summer, and so we then had 2 days of rest before the sugar beets were ready, and we're going to have another 2 days before the sunflowers are ready. Mr. FedEx is here. That's an interesting point. Okay, so that's all done. Again, we've got little bits there. I'm going to carry on working my way this way. What was I going to look up? Weather. Cloudy today, cloudy tomorrow.
Good morning.
Rain on Sunday, rain on Tuesday. That's possibly around the time the sunflowers are going to be ready, so that might be an issue for us. Filling fridge filters, I kind of figured. It looks like my angle wasn't straight with the planting angle, but close enough. Where is the Challenger? He's still quite a ways out. It's going to take us a while to get over there. Sometimes I wonder with sections of field this tight whether it's worthwhile just ploughing one direction. It takes so long to turn around, I could probably reverse back to the edge behind us quicker, in shorter a length of time. I think I will do that. Certainly easier than turning around at each end of the field and trying not to drive through hedges and keeping things all good. Obviously, the longer the bits of field get, the less efficient doing it this way becomes. We kind of bought this plough because the big one would be incredibly inefficient doing this bit. And it feels like we're achieving something even if we're not achieving that much. But yeah, back on the fish tank, we're going to be changing the water today for the first time. So we'll be finding out, we'll be doing chemistry, finding out what the pH of our water is. I think it's too high for the fishes. And we do have some neutralizer, but a little bit concerned how much of that we're actually going to need to use. It's a bit of a challenge. We're on well water, and the woman who runs the fish store told us that you probably want to use a reverse osmosis filter in order to cut down the pH. Well, the only opportunity we really have to run a reverse osmosis filter on the water is for the drinking tap and the refrigerator, and that's not hot water, and we kind of need sort of 76-78 degree water going into the fish tank so as not to shock the fish with a rapid change of temperature. So it might just be we're going to stick with the chemical solution. Dump a bunch of neutralizer in the tank and hope for the best. Well, I can see the Challenger now, so we don't have very far to go. Keep going, done. Okay, this is getting quite a distance to drive in reverse. And of course I'm probably driving this as a completely different angle to the worker, so there is going to be a large triangle that doesn't get done. Still. What's he doing? Well, I'm not going to worry about what he's doing yet. Still a little ways off. And a bunch of concentration on ploughing ground. And this tractor I definitely didn't put GPS on. One, it's an old tractor. Two, it's not really used for a lot of precision work. And I bought it when we started logging because the Lindner is obviously too light to lift big trees, and this is a big frame tractor and supports a front loader. And yeah, wheel weights on the back. This is going to lift up a lot of wood, a lot of lumber. So that's what we started using it for, but also for carting. Since the Valtra is mostly used on fertilizer, at least in the first year we were just using it on the fertilizer spreader or spray. I kept it with narrow tyres, and obviously not particularly neat. Well, it was being used a lot of the times. The Fendt was also being used. It's why I want another tractor in this sort of horsepower range, so we can be a little bit more versatile, and I can reserve the big tractors again for the big heavy ploughing, cultivating, seeding deal. And the smaller tractors can be used for jobs like this. Although one of the things is because this is, yeah, there's only me, so unless I can stick tractors on workers, I don't actually need lots of them. I mean, that said, one of the live farms I watch on YouTube, they have probably getting on for about 8 different tractors. But they have one tractor that's always hooked up to their corn pulverizer, and another tractor that's always hitched up to their what is it, silage wagon, and another tractor that's always can't remember what else they do. Oh yeah, pair of tractors that have front loader bale spikes on them permanently, for carrying hay bales out to the cows. So it's, in essence, it's kind of leaving tractors attached to equipment, kind of like I tend to do with the Valtra attached to the sprayer. I just do that, because then I don't have to take all the sprayer equipment off and then put it back on every couple of days over the summer. It's just permanently, it's got narrow tyres, it's got spraying equipment, and that's almost the only job we use that for. We also use it for the root crop harvest, because it has the options of the tyres needed to do that. The space narrows at the back. Now I could consider something like the Case 7200 series, because they include, or they have the option of coming with twin spaced narrows front and back. Okay, this is looking almost to the point where I need to stop doing this. We'll go and finish off the top end, the bits that the plough missed. Kind of hoping he'll stop when he gets to this point, because obviously he doesn't need to. Although the state on this part of the field is cultivated, so he might look at that and say, oh, I'm allowed to plough that. It's part of the problem I've had with some of the fields on this map, is that they're registered as needing to be ploughed, but their current state is have been ploughed. So you can't set a worker off to plough the field, because the worker looks at it and says, the state of this field is ploughed, not, oh, this field needs to be ploughed. So and I'm not sure a subsoiler would work on that either, because out of the way. Let's do this bit here. And that bit there. Ouch. Yes. And I think we'll go down this way and stay out of his way until he's done with his turn. But that, that particular issue is only really a problem when you buy a new field for the first time. You're at the mercy of the field state that was left. So I think all of the fields on this map that I don't own need to be ploughed. We can look at that as soon as I've done this bit. Okay. So if we look over here, I have never owned any of these fields, so they all need to be ploughed. But if we go back one, that one's harvested, so I can run a plough over these purple fields. The blue cultivated ones, I think I can run a plough over those. But if there are any that colour, which I don't think there are anymore, but I think this one was in a ploughed state, but needed to be ploughed, and you're kind of, well, there's nothing I can do about that, because I either have to do it manually, or I just have to plant crops on fields that says, oh, I need to be ploughed. Looks like there's a tiny, tiny, tiny row there, which I might have to do myself. Because it might be too narrow for the worker to see. Okay, let's have a look at that and see how that's looking. Let's turn it that colour. So yeah, tiny, tiny, tiny strip there. It looks like the worker's doing a turnaround, and it's wider at this end than it is at that end. So I would suggest that I'm gonna do that bit. We'll lift that up and run down the other end of the field now. Yeah, he's lining back up on that, so hopefully he'll get most, if not all, of that done. So what do I need to do? Well, this bit looks like it hasn't been seen to yet. Actually, it looks like another bit, and there's where I got up to before. So just do along the edge and then drive up the field. Oops. So, quick run up. And it doesn't look like he thinks he's finished. So I'm going to guess right now that he's looking at the field state and saying, well, the last thing done on this section was cultivating. That means I can plough it again. So what does that bit look like? That looks like that bit there needs done. And I did miss a bit back there. Done. Okay. So let's go find this guy. Yeah, he's just reploughing all of this. So you can go home. Nope. We'll lift that up. Okay, we'll flip it the other way. Yeah, we've actually completed this quite satisfactorily. So stick that in travel mode. And of course, the sunflower fields were year 2 purchases. So I'm not going to need to put lime on those this year. They'll be next year. But depending on the state of precision farming, I could end up doing all of the fields next year, because precision farming will reset the pH levels of the field to horrible again. Okay, I'm going to sneak this over here, line up there, and get the worker on it. Okay, I have a plough I need to find a home for. Oops. And I have a truck with lime coming this way at high speed. Not too bad. All right. So we'll use the Fent as a gopher. I think what I might do is just dump this in the bottom field for now. Actually, we've got a shed round here that I'm not using for anything. As long as those supports are more than 4 meters apart. This is a great shed to put equipment this sort of size in. And ooh, that's looking decidedly not working. Okay, maybe I should have bought the 3 meter. No, that's good. Okay. Just have to be very, very, very careful when we pull that out. Alrighty, so we got that done. Now it won't take long for the lime spreader to do its thing. Might run empty before it gets done.